these were the great cities, the cities of importance. So the city of Thyatira was one of those cities where they would set up garrisons, basically to give the bigger cities more time. So many times this church, this city was run over and was conquered by many people, and those that were coming in, you know, trying to attack the bigger cities and to take over the region that were set up as capitals. They would have to go through this city, and they would set people down there to give them more time. So this was kind of like a go-between city between the big cities, and it's set at the base instead of up on a hill. It did not have great trade or commerce or wealth, but they did make fine linen. They made dyed linen of purples and grays. So they had trade, but they weren't a great trade center such as those that would be on the coast that would have ports, where the people would come in and bring things from other places and could go out and then take things to other places. They were kind of like in the valley, kind of away from the ports, about 40 miles from Pergamos. So it wasn't right there. One of the major reasons, probably the only reason that our attention is drawn to this city, because there was nothing great historically that happened in this city. There were no great battles. There were no great men of renown, or no great poets, no great politicians, no great generals that came out of this city. The main reason that we really look at this city is because of the church that was there. And you'll find it in many places. It's the work of the church that puts a city on the map. Now, our city at one time was called the Pencil City. Anybody remember that? And then we now are known as the walking horse capital of the world. People come from all different places here. You know, it seems weird, but New Yorkers come here with walking horses. Californians come here with walking horses. So there are certain little niches that cities will have that will make them popular. You think of Paris. You think of Rome. You think of Greece. You can think of the Eiffel Tower that makes one. You can think of the cathedral in Rome. You can think of different things in different cities that make them popular. But the thing that brings this church to the brings this city to the surface is the fact that there was a church there. This is a Macedonian city, so it was Macedonian people that founded this place, and their nationality of origin is Macedonia. I think it was 190 BC. Finally, when after the ups and the downs, the city being destroyed and the city being rebuilt, that finally Rome came through in about 190 BC and occupied it. And once Rome stationed there, the city had stability. The god of the city was Apollos, the god Apollos, the sun god. He was worshipped under the surname of Tyrannus. Of all the churches that have been mentioned before, this is the only church that seems to be the victim of interior ruin. If we think of all the other churches that were before, the churches we have encountered up to this point have experienced trouble from the outside. There was the Nicolaitans, there was the doctrine of Balaam and Balak, there were those that were persecuting them, there were the Jews which say they are Jews, but they were really not. There were those that were upset because they wouldn't bow down to the Roman gods, they wouldn't bow down to the gods that they had in the temple. So the other churches that have been mentioned had external problems. A church is really in trouble when they have internal problems. So this was a church that suffered from internal problems. The Nicolaitans, the doctrine of Balaam, false prophets, Judaism. All the other persecutions came from other religions upset with this new religion which did not bow down or compromise with other religions or gods. And one of the commandments that God has set forth in Exodus chapter 20 is, thou shalt not bow thyself down unto them. First, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt not bow thyself down unto them. So not only as a Christian, but as a believer in God, then understanding the manifestation of God through Jesus Christ. We don't bow, we don't worship, we don't serve other gods, we serve God. The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. If we just leave it at God, there are many gods. There are the God of, the Muslim religion. There's the God of Indian religion. And I mean, every different place and all different cults and different people have God. So if you just use the word G-O-D, whether it's capital, because some that's going to believe that their God, when they use God, is the God and the real God and all of the gods of faith. If you just use G-O-D, then that could be any God. Some people make money their God. But our God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The covenant with Abraham was established. The covenant was passed on to Isaac. The covenant was passed on to Jacob. So you see many times in the Bible referencing God as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Distinguish him from all the others. When you were different, many things will come against you simply because you were different. Anybody remember before you got saved and started trying to live right, it was easy to get along with everybody else. Everything's fine. Even with young people in school, and you deal with peer pressure. The folks in the popular crowd, they come against those that are unpopular because why? They're different. Those that think they're pretty deal with people and pick on people that they think are not pretty. Those that are skinny deal with people that are a little bit overweight because they're not like them. So Christianity being different is being opposed by the populace that's already in play. And what we have to take from this and realize is you are different from everyone you are around. And when you are different, there is something different about you that makes people upset, that makes people not understand, and at times make people want to come against you. It's your differences. And it was the Christian experience of accepting Jesus Christ and worshiping him as the Son of God that redeemed mankind. And this talk of a man that was raised from the dead, this had never been heard of before. Never been heard of before. So they were different from all other religions. When you represent the Lord, the devil finds numbers of ways to come against you. He'll come against you and try to get you fired. He'll come against you and family members won't like you. He'll come against you. Boyfriends will start acting funny. Girlfriends will start acting funny. Things will just start getting funny in your life simply because you start to represent the Lord. And it's not always you that's being attacked. Many times it's the righteousness that you represent or the righteousness that you have in Jesus Christ. And righteousness, when it stands in the world, it stands as light. And the Bible talks about Jesus being the light of the world and darkness comprehended it not. So this church was different from all of the churches. But their problem was internal problems from unscriptural teaching. The worst thing a church can suffer from is internal strife. Baptists. At one time they were all Baptists. Then they went to Northern Baptists and Southern Baptists. Anybody know anything about what that was over? One of the splits came in about black people and about their views. You know, some of the ones that didn't believe that blacks should be able to do this and be able to be involved, and it caused a big split. One of the most relevant ones has come up. The Episcopalian church, I think it is. They ordained not just a woman, but an actively practicing lesbian. And the church is split over that issue. Internal strife. It's not the world that's attacking them. The churches are allowing things to muster and to fester and to begin to grow to a point that some are saying, I don't know about that. And others that have been there for a while and really clueless are sitting there like, well, I don't know. And then you got some that believe like that but never said anything. And then you'll find that all of us in the church got different views on things, got different understanding on things. We got different takes on it. We can look at the same scripture, all of us, and see something different. Are you in here with me? But what holds true is we don't allow individual ideas contrary to sound doctrine to run rampant in the church. Because the Bible is certainly saying, let God be true and every man a liar. So we can have different opinions on things, but the ultimate source of truth that we must follow is the Word.